So for you that know my channel, you know that this is my boat, and I built this boat, put a lot of YouTube videos up building this boat, and as I was building the boat, I referred to this boat as a mini jet boat because a lot of jet boats are not this small. Some are much smaller. This is a 13-foot 4-inch boat, and there are many jet boats out there that are 10 feet long. So, as the title may infer, Oregon State Marine Board has decided that my boat's not a real boat, and it's a personal watercraft. Now, my boat holds 3 adults and a child, and it pulls skiers, pulls tubers, it runs up and down the river, it can go out on a lake. And that's why I built it, because it's a multi-purpose boat that can go many places, just like a lot of other jet boats that people bring out on the river. But the state has decided that somebody, I'm sure, has complained, most likely some state senator or state representative or their family or friends, has been inconvenienced somehow by small boats on the river that they probably live on. So state, doing as they usually do, is they serve the needs of their friends and corporations first. They want to get rid of this little, working man's nuisance, because all of us people out there that, go to work every day, and we drive the economy of our state and of our country in various industries, as I do, and we work and we make a paycheck, and then we go home and we decide how to spend that money. Now, if we make too much money, they just take more of it away. But, set that aside. We decide to spend some of that money on family recreation so that we can go out on a river and we can have some fun and we can act like we don't live in a communist state, which is pretty cool because, in America, we may be a socialist country. I mean, our whole system is socialist, but we have this perceived freedom that, even though everything's supposed to be for the greater good of the people, we have this perception that we're free, and that, things like rivers actually belong to everybody. Now, obviously that's not true, especially in Oregon, I think, because, we have a dam just up the river here, and that dam has been there since, the early 1900s. And it was put in when this area was very small population, and it was actually used to power homes. But a long, long time ago, they quit powering homes with it. And so it has a fish ladder. It's Winchester Dam, Roseburg, Oregon. Has a fish ladder, and it has a nice little private lake above it, which is pretty sweet for those people because, it's a public waterway, and the public paid to put in a dam, and then the public was going to take the dam out, for the fish or whatever, like that's ever really the cause. But I was kind of excited. I thought, well, that's pretty cool because that's going to open up that whole stretch of river for all these people that go out to recreate on the river in the summertime. Well, now, you go up to Glide or up in that area, get in the river, you come down, you hit the dam, you got no place to take out. You got no public place to actually use that section of river until you run into a dam and you're just stuck. And it's all private property. And of course, there's boat docks and nice big boats, jet boats, regular boats, you name it, right? And all these private property owners have a nice little lake that nobody can come upstream, and nobody really comes downstream either because they got no place to get out and to deal with it. So they were going to take that dam out, but recently they've decided, well, we're just going to spend a couple $1 million. And I don't know if that's taxpayer money or not, but if it's not, that's even more telling because you're talking about a public facility and a public waterway. But either way, they decided not to take it out, not to open the whole river up to the public, but to let these people that live on their private lake in a public river, have their way. So the dam's going to stay, doesn't produce power, it's not helping any of the public, it's not doing anybody any good other than those private lake owners. So that's the tone. That's what we do in Oregon. I'm sure the State Marine Board, had to have something to do with that. Maybe not. Maybe it was someone else. But anyway, now the State Marine Board's decided that you can't use your boat. And we want to make it to where pretty much, the boats that we're going to allow, are less accessible to the general public because they're more expensive, they're bigger, so on and so forth. Most likely, somebody lives on a river somewhere that has political pull and they've complained, a boat went up the river and made some noise and they were just playing around on my river in my backyard. Well, I live on the river, and in my backyard, which is right over there, hundreds of people, thousands of people come floating down here, hoping and hollering, all kinds of watercraft, boats come up and down, the whole works all summer long. I don't go to the government and say, I want you to kick all these people off the river. But essentially that's what somebody's done concerning small jet boats. And so they've got their pristine little section of river that they believe belongs to them. And so my family boat is no longer going to be allowed on the river that I live on, unless it's much bigger and meet some new criteria that they're going to put forward. I've heard some details. I haven't looked them all up. I've looked up the website about the meeting, the Oregon Marine Board meeting on December 17th. But essentially, I think what they're getting at is it's got to be 16 feet or longer, to not be a personal watercraft. Well, this is a boat. This isn't a jet ski. It's obviously a boat. And it's not something that people are out buying in mass, but it is a new trend. And they don't like that trend for whatever reason. So anybody who lives outside the state of Oregon that would like to come up and traffic our waterways in their boats in the future, this style of boat is just going to be banned from doing that. So just stay home, go to work, pay your bills, and shut up. That's what they're telling people is, all the money you have invested in something, if you were planning on making a living making these boats, if you have made the boats and sold them, you people don't matter. You people don't count. We're kicking you out. And your economic impact isn't big enough for us to consider you a citizen of the state of Oregon that should have equal rights to everybody else. But my guess is if you were a large corporation and you wanted to make boats that could run these rivers, you could probably figure out a way, because government, they'll accommodate you. But the working class, no. The people that have families that just want some entertainment, some recreation, they want to do something different or special. Yeah, come on, people. You don't deserve happiness. So, State Marine Board is going to meet. Some people are going to try and fight it. Good luck to them. This is government, people. And I think it's pretty clear that their purpose is not to actually make all things equal for all citizens. Their purpose is actually just to cater to their friends, their special interests, large corporations with money. That's government. That's what they do. So, 13 feet 4 inches, you don't have freedom anymore. You don't have the rights. You shouldn't be able to do what normal people have done on these rivers for more than 50 years. We're going to put that to a stop. But if you go 16 feet, now you're free. Now you're a citizen. Now you have rights. 16 feet. 16 feet is rights. 13.4, now you don't have those rights. You don't fit our club, and you don't have enough money or political pull to really do anything about it. And we'll see, because the meeting's coming up. This is the 13th. It's on the 17th. So we'll have their little public meeting, and then we'll see how the rules change. And I'll guarantee you, I hope I'm wrong, but on this type of a thing, I'm rarely wrong. People call me doom and gloomer, but it's like, well, okay, I look at it as reality. It just is what it is. It's like, yeah, you can put out some effort. There's no reason in going out and voicing your opinion. There's no reason not to do that. Let them know. They're just going to look down on you and say, you're stupid, you're ignorant, you don't know what you're talking about. Anything that's under 16 feet is clearly personal watercraft. It's personal, because personal, to most normal people, that indicates like individual. It's a personal choice. Well, a personal choice isn't between three people. A personal choice is one person. A personal watercraft is one person. But no, we don't want to define words the way they should be defined so that people can understand them. We want to decide that, hey, we don't want on this waterway because they're too dangerous, there's whatever. They're too maneuverable. We have too many idiots driving them, because that's what the public is. It's just a lot of idiots. But something that carries 3 adults, pulls water skis and tubes, and has every full function of a boat, the full shape of a boat, the full accommodations of a real boat. Clearly that's a watercraft. A personal watercraft. That's personal. You're never going to see more than one person in it. Maybe if there is one person in it, with all the other empty seats, it just looks too personal to them because of its 13 foot 4 inch size. Obviously this isn't about logic, people. This is just about tyranny. It comes from every government agency. This Oregon State Marine Board, all you have to hear is Oregon State, right? Yeah, it's the Marine Board. They're a regulatory agency. I don't know if they're supposed to be passing a law on this, or if they just pick some past law and say, this is regulation, therefore you're breaking the law if you don't follow our regulation. And that's essentially how we do things. We don't pass a law for everything they do. They just have regulatory agencies that make laws. So the new law, because that's obviously what it's going to be, is you have freedom at 16 feet. All right, well, so what are people going to do? Now, if they want to talk about, turning boats into, using jet skis to turn boats into personal watercraft, it's like the hull is what gets the number. That's what gets the registration, is the hull. Last I looked on my registration, there was, if it's an inboard, you could say, well, yeah, this engine and this pump was put in it, or this outboard, or whatever it is. But how many boats are out there with 300 horsepower outboards? And those outboards can have a jet pump attached to them. So if you want to say, well, if you're going to take personal watercraft engines and jet pumps and put them in boats, then that's a personal watercraft. Oh, based on the engine and the jet pump? How many versions of that are there that aren't in personal watercraft? What's the difference? Well, the difference is the working man can pick up a jet ski that has an engine and a pump in it, and they can put it in a boat and make it work. Just like you can take a ski boat and put an outboard motor on it that's big enough to pull skiers. Or you can put a 5-horse trolling motor on it and just tootle around the lake or river, right? So this isn't about, what's right in making something a personal watercraft, because personal is want. This is about somebody influential living on rivers deciding that they don't want the annoyance of somebody coming up the river and enjoying that public space. It has nothing to do with anything else. That's what it is. So anyway, this is going in soon. I don't know if this is to take effect at the beginning of the year or whatever, but my guess is this boat's going to be illegal to go where it was built to go. So now are they going to offer me to give me my money back for everything I put into this to improve the lives of myself and my family? Are they at least going to give me my money after they make the law? That's what I built the boat for. But now they're going to just make some regulatory rule that I can't use what I've dumped a lot of money into for personal reasons. Or do I just need to go out and buy someone's factory-made boat that is registered as something other than a personal watercraft because it doesn't have a jet ski engine in it? Right. Yeah, it's not about logic, people. It's just government. But if they do this, then Oregon's just saying, get out of our state. We don't want you people here. You're of no use to us. You're an annoyance to our elites. And, just screw off. So this is Oregon now. And this is the state of Oregon soon, after the Marine Board is done.